India march on to the finals of this cricket magnum opus. The 2023 World Cup finals will see India in action. It wasn't easy even after scoring a mountain of runs, New Zealand making a great chase out of it. It wasn't to be. 327 all out, not without giving India a scare and a half. Daryl Mitchell played an innings that almost took the game away from India. 134, dreadful innings from an India perspective. Kane Williamson got a live score 69. Eventually, in the end, India crossed the finish line by a margin of 70 runs. It was almost going to be that Wankhede heist. It ended up being the great escape.
I wouldn't say it is a great escape, but yeah, I mean, if you look at the scoreline tomorrow and say India won by 70 runs, it was probably a lot closer than that 70 runs margin. I think till 30th over or 34th over where Mohammad Shami came in and took those 2 wickets. Till then, I thought New Zealand were well on course. They were actually chasing that target really well. But you got to give time to Mohammad Shami that in a game where more than 700 runs being scored and to take 7 wickets, it's a great achievement by Mohammad Shami.
He kept coming hard at New Zealand, dropped a catch, but then that didn't deter him from doing what he has with the ball. Yes, there were 390-ish runs on the board, but Zaheer Khan will tell us what it takes to bowl like an absolute champion on that world stage. What a spell from Shami.
What a run he's having.
Oh, yes.
It's just amazing. He's just rolling the arm over and getting wickets. I mean, that's the kind of patch he's going through right now. Have not started the World Cup, but since the time he started the World Cup, the bowling attack has looked completely different. So the aggression which we were talking about, the wicket-taking form which he's showing, it's just phenomenal. As a bowler, this is a dream run. You bowl good deliveries, you bowl good spells, but very seldom you have this kind of a run. And what a time to have a run like this. In a tournament like World Cup, when the team needs you, since the time he's been playing now in this World Cup, you look at those figures. Every match is getting better and better. Like today, you thought, okay, this is a third fifer, but he's bettered that by. I'm sure this must be the best bowling figures for an Indian bowler.
And to do this in a World Cup semi-final, when there was a 181-run partnership, there was this tension in the air. All of us in the Cricbuzz studio as well. There was this palpable tension for all of us. And then when India is playing with 5 bowlers, someone had to put their hand up.
Yeah, I think I thought that's something which Rohit Sharma also realized that during the game. That is the reason why he was trying to get India's main bowlers to try and break that partnership. They had brought in Jasprit Bumrah, but that didn't work out. So he went back to Mohammad Shami, and he came in and took those couple of wickets. But yeah, till then I thought that, as I said, New Zealand were calculating the chase really well. And there's only one way you can stop better by not scoring runs is to get out, and that is something which India's trademark in this World Cup. They've always been thinking wickets. They've always set those attacking field placements, and that is the reason why we've been talking about why India should be playing with 5 frontline bowlers even before the World Cup started. And this is something which is the results are showing now. 7 wickets in an inning, and that too now he's reached almost 50 wickets in more than 50 wickets in World Cup, crossed 50 in just 3 World Cup. That's scintillating.
Yes, these are McGraw-esque numbers. He's got 71 wickets, I think, in World Cups. But this is absolutely fantastic from Mohammad Shami. 17 innings only to 50 wickets. Zach, this is the result of spending hours and days and weeks and months just bowling and bowling and bowling far away when there's no camera, there's no media. In his village, he's got this practice facility. All that's resulted to this.
No, these numbers are unimaginable. I mean, you look at just 17 innings to complete 50 wickets in World Cup games is something phenomenal. We've been talking about that. The last World Cup also, when he also didn't start, but came into the World Cup with that wicket-taking form. Have not got that many opportunities, but these numbers are telling you a story. 54 wickets now in 17 matches. It's just the kind of dream run which we are talking about. As a bowler, you dream of these kind of achievements, and this achievement is going to take a long time for anyone to to break for sure.
And
Yes.
something just to add on to it, we are playing in an era where 398 could be chased down, and there are two balls. There is no help of reverse swing. Everyone is saying India, the world should go back to one ball method where reverse swing comes into play. Then here's Mohammad Shami comes in and then takes wicket like 50 wickets in 17 games. We are talking about run scoring has become easier. Where we saw the difference between how many Virat Kohli took 279 innings to score to 50 hundreds, but here Mohammad Shami gets 50 wickets in 17 games, so he definitely doesn't need one ball or reverse swing, help of reverse swing.
Yes, he wasn't part of that Indian combination at the start of the World Cup. Now, because of what Shami has done, I suppose Hardik Pandya's absence is not being felt as much. India going in with only 5 bowlers. But in this game, when India were under the pump slightly, just to see Mohammad Shami run into bowl like a gladiator, he always looked like he's someone who will somehow make that breakthrough happen. And he got not one, but 2.
Yeah, it did, and every time he's come on to bowl, as Zach said, he looked in great rhythm. We were talking about it when he was bowling that new ball. Something we talk about in a test match where you come in and bowl under those areas just outside the off stump, just nipping it away, and that's exactly what he has been doing. And that same position we've been talking time and again. We always compare about Virat Kohli's hundreds, but this is as good a same position you can get anywhere in the world by any bowler. And I've been taking 7 wickets in a one-day game. Though no Indian has taken those 7 wickets in a one-day game, and that too in semi-final. I think credit to Mohammad Shami.
And these 7 wickets have taken him to the top of the pile in this World Cup. Highest wicket taker in this World Cup. And Zach, he's given himself and the Indian team another game. He's gone past Adam Zampa, who was just 22, 23 now for Mohammad Shami. There's so much that has already been said about Shami. Is there anything left?
No.
Well, we want to talk about it more, but we'll save it for the finals. There is no doubt about that. For the Indian team right now, what they need is the bowling attack, which the kind of work they've been doing, absorbing pressure, dealing with different situations. Like today's game was a classic example of that. You need a game like this. Yes, India did score a pile of runs, which is going to be enough for any bowling unit to defend under any kind of conditions. But what matters is that after partnership, how you're responding. So the New Zealand batters started decently, but then Shami came in, got those 2 wickets. Then after the partnership was building, just before that, Bumrah had bowled a couple of overs. Was not easy going at that stage. Shami coming in again, providing those breakthroughs, getting India back. So those are the kind of things you want to see from the bowlers. Shami has been doing fantastically well, but the support which he's getting from the other bowler is also phenomenal.
Well, I suppose at the end of this, India will take a very hard look at what went wrong. Very important before that big final. Now, these are the numbers. Mohammad Shami and Kuldeep Yadav went at less than 6 in over. It's those 7 wickets from Shami that more than made up for the runs that Mohammad Siraj leaked today, 78 of 8. Bumrah got that 1 wicket. Again, India sort of were slightly wayward at the start. But that big number that will pinch India is 29 extras. 19 wides, 1 no ball. 4 byes and that 1 overthrow as well.
Yeah, there were a few wides involved in it, but that can happen when ball is swinging the way it was swinging. And Siraj's number doesn't do justice to the way he has bowled with that new ball. He was probably unlucky, getting a couple of maybe 3 inside edges, and there was 1 top edge went for 6. So actually, numbers are actually not doing justice to how Mohammad Siraj has bowled. And when it's swinging the way it was swinging, and this wides can happen, and especially with this Kookaburra ball, it just carries on and swings behind the stump as well. So I wouldn't read too much into it. I thought that can happen when, as a bowler, you are attacking, you are thinking attacking. That's when you try and bowl extra pace, and that was the thing which Indian bowlers were doing. So I won't be concerned about India's bowler. What I would really heartening to see was all 3 fast bowlers were running in and bowling at extra pace.
Jasprit Bumrah as well got that very important wicket of Glenn Phillips. He was also threatening to sort of, go big. And at that stage, for Bumrah to get that wicket was such a key moment as well.
Yeah, like we've been talking about the whole bowling unit. And when the team has scored 400 runs, you know that the things can be getting tricky. The New Zealand team is a strong team. You've seen how what kind of numbers they have. They've stayed in the game on many occasions. Like you look at the game against Australia also, which they lost. They're chasing a big total, but they still managed to keep themselves in the game right till the last 3-4 overs. So you can expect those kind of things. They also scored 400 runs against Pakistan. So this is the team which always keeps things simple. They approach the game in a very methodical manner. Today also was no exception. They put this bowling attack under pressure. There is no doubt about that. The pitch was not a easy one for any bowler to just come and take 7 wickets. I know Shami did that, but it wasn't going to be that easy. He also had to work really hard for it. But on the whole, I think, as a bowling unit, everyone were showing that intent. They were holding their nerves, and they were keeping themselves in the game. Trying to do the right thing under pressure is something has become the habit in this tournament, which is very heartening to see, and that gives you a lot of confidence when you're watching. So that come the big game, come the finals, the team is looking very ready to take on the challenge.
Yes, India make it to their 4th ever ODI World Cup final. Now, here's a stat for you to savor and remember. While the other bowlers took 7 wickets and gave away 655 runs, Mohammad Shami 7 for 57. Icy cool he was, Mohammad Shami, as ever. However, in this match, where there's so much that happened, runs, sixes, a few wickets, lots of boundaries as well, a couple of drop catches. There were many cool moments, and here's a look at what our coolest moment of the match, powered by Voltas AC and Voltas Beko Refrigerator is. Here are 3 entries that have come in. In fact, 3 tweets that have come in. Let's take a look at those. Bishal Chaudhary reckons, of course, it was hashtag King Kohli, overtakes hashtag Sachin Tendulkar, bows in front of the master at the Wankhede. Great moment with lots of E's and A's in that. Great. My hashtag coolest moment. There's a couple of more that we'll look at. Arun Singh, hashtag Virat Kohli's 50th ODI turn. Nothing beats the moment of hashtag King Kohli doing it in style in Mumbai. My vote for hashtag the coolest moment. One more. Let's have one more while we are at it. Raju Shah, another day, another ton for the greatest of all time, hashtag Virat Kohli, getting to this century, overtaking Sachin Tendulkar and then honouring the master. Goosebumps, definitely. Hashtag coolest moment of the match. Who else but Virat Kohli, and what else but that moment?
Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. Big achievement, lots of years and years of hard work, determination, sacrifices, you name it. You play the game for this. Virat has been doing a phenomenal job of it, making a habit of getting hundreds. Sachin was there in the stands, so it was an emotional moment for both of them, and both of them acknowledging each other is something which you want to see, and the Indian holding the record strongly. So you have 2 guys there right now to give each other company.
Yes, and there's so much respect and love and admiration in both of them. Sachin Tendulkar, the master, and Virat Kohli, the modern master, the chase master. And here's what he said at the end of it all, when he scaled Mount 50. Here's what he said about that moment. The great man just congratulated me. It feels like a dream, too good to be true. Big game for us, and I played the role so that the guys around me can come and express themselves. As I said, for me, the most important thing is to make my team win. It's a team sport, remember. It's the stuff of dreams. Sachin Paji was there in the stands. It's very difficult for me to express it, said Virat Kohli, India's batting superhero.
He has been India's batting superhero. There is no doubt about it. And this 50-100 has not come overnight. As we've said it before, that he probably has gone through a lot of ups and downs. Emotionally, he's gone through a lot of ups and downs. And we call him chase master. He's someone who's been chasing targets. But to me, I thought just to reach to the landmark which he has reached, you have to chase excellence. And that's something which Virat Kohli has chased throughout his career. And here's the moment. And that's something which we are saying probably take a couple of days to realize what he has achieved, and this truly hats off to Virat Kohli, the way he has played. And an important quote in this is the way he's described his inning is, I had a certain role to play so that everyone else can, express themselves. And that's exactly what he has done. At the end of the day, main part is they want the team to win. And the happiness in the dressing room comes only when team wins, not just by scoring hundreds.
Yes, and I suppose this 50th 100 will count for far, far more than any of the other 49 hundreds he scored. And while there's so much that happened, 7 wickets for Shami as well. But that moment, which saw Virat Kohli surpass the master, hit that 50th 100, was certainly the coolest moment of the match, powered by Voltas AC and Voltas Beko refrigerator. Now, when you know the opposition is going for the big ones, dropping catches can get a bit tricky. While there was no dew, there was a lot of pressure. We saw a drop catch as well, but then there was Bappu in good catching form. Ravindra Jadeja, 3 catches, and somehow he's almost like a ball magnet. The ball seemed to find him pretty much everywhere.
It looked like India was using Ravindra Jadeja's AI everywhere. Yeah. Wherever you go, Ravindra Jadeja was there. But you got to give the credit to the Rohit Sharma there. You, as a captain, you realize where the batters are going. That's when you put in your best fielder in the boundary line, and that's exactly how Ravindra Jadeja was. It wasn't that ball was following him. He was set in a certain place where the balls usually will go. I think that's where the captain comes into play. So yes, we all know how good a fielder Ravindra Jadeja is, but you got to give credit to Rohit Sharma for putting him in the right situation.
Now, Zach, to those who haven't played the game, perhaps don't understand the intricacies, they look like simple catches, but they aren't, right? Under pressure, with the lights, those are not easy to take.
No, none of the catches are simple. As simple as that. You got to just hold on to them, and sometimes you take things for granted. And I think fielding is one aspect of the game where it's a thankless job. A fielder gets credit only when it's a spectacular catch that you'll remember, right? But other than that, you might not just remember the easy ones. You will remember the drops. So if you drop the catch, people will remember it more, like how you're mentioning right now, and that's why it's a very important aspect as well. And kudos to the team that we did touch upon those points right throughout the World Cup. The leading up to the World Cup, it was a slight bit of a concern, but they put in the work, and now they're putting the right fielders also in place. So there's enough planning which is happening in the behind the scenes.
One more to go, one more to win, say the India fans. But then when you have 390 plus on the board, you're expected to really wrap the game up quickly. It wasn't easy. It was a pretty good workout for the Indian bowlers and the fielders as well. Where did the match turn? Take a look at this innings progression graphic. And Parthiv, tell us more about that phase when things sort of took a turn in India's favour.
I think that's the phase when 31st to 40th over. That's where, 33rd over where Mohammad Shami came in and took those 2 wickets of, Williamson and Latham. Latham is not having a good tournament, but you had to get someone like Williamson out, who understands the chasing. He's someone who is very calm whenever, he had to chase the target for New Zealand. Yeah, I think game changed when, the way Mohammad Shami came in and took those 2 wickets in 1 over.
Between the 33rd and the 37th, I think in those 5 overs, some 17 runs were scored. But as cricket experts often say, 1 brings 2, and that's exactly what happened. Tom Latham got an absolute peach.
Yes, I think that situation of the game was a very crucial one because you look at the teams approaching the target. I think where you need to applaud New Zealand was that after losing those first 2 early wickets in the first 10 overs, after that how they absorbed the pressure was something which was very commendable. Looked like they had a plan of getting around 200 in that 30 over mark and then look to accelerate. And as they were looking to accelerate, Shami comes back and takes those 2 wickets. So that's why that phase of the game was a very crucial one. I still always felt that Indian bowlers will be able to defend this total. Yeah. It was not that that was still going to be a very, very tricky situation, but they would have had to deal with a lot more pressure had it been say till 35th over the wicket had not fallen. So those 3-4 overs would have been a very crucial over if they had got say 10 runs per over, because that was the required rate at that stage, 10 runs per over, or maybe 110 runs for the back 10 overs is always going to bring you pressure because of the venue. You've seen in a venue like Wankhede, on that kind of pitch, when the pressure gets to you, at times you falter. Teams are able to chase down crazy required rates also. We've seen that. You didn't want that kind of a situation, and for that they needed wickets. And Shami was there to take wickets at any stage of the game. You just hand over the ball and he was getting wickets for you as a captain.
Well, at the halfway mark, I suppose 10 out of 10 Indian fans would have said, game in the bag, India is going to Ahmedabad. But then it took one man to make the same fans rethink. Daryl Mitchell, second 100, he hit 100 against India at Dharamshala as well. He just seemed to be there, very self-assured, knew what he was doing. 7 sixes, 9 fours. What an innings!
He played an outstanding inning. It's pity that the New Zealanders would think that it turned out to be in a losing cause, because he's batted brilliantly. I thought he approached that inning really well. I don't think he was picking Kuldeep that well, so he was not trying to hit him through the line. Rest of the bowlers, he was picking them well. There wasn't much spin, but even if it was Bumrah, Shami or Ravindra Jadeja, he has that advantage of height and he likes to go through the line, and that's exactly what he did. And Kuldeep, he was finding it a bit difficult. That's when he came out and played those sweeps and reverse sweep. So obviously, he had his game plan intact and he used it really well. So there was only one man who could have taken New Zealand to 398, just like Maxwell did it for Australia. So, but I thought Daryl Mitchell played an outstanding knockdown.
Well, 39 for 2 New Zealand at the start, and one thought, the game's done. But then 181 run, the partnership between Daryl Mitchell and Kane Williamson, the captain, 65 of 64. At the start, he looked a bit scratchy. He got a couple of big shots through edges as well. A top edge for 6, inside edge for 4. He was struggling to get off the mark as well. But had this guy hung around, who knows?
Give bowlers the credit.
Always.
Look, that was a tough phase. I mean, you see the New Zealand batters got off to a decent start, but they were not comfortable. So that was evident. So that first spell with the new ball, from all the bowlers, Siraj was superb, Bumrah was good, Shami was the one who provided those breakthroughs. But once that kind of a pressure is on, you will see when you're chasing 397 kind of a total, how many teams and how many batters actually are ready to absorb the pressure or ready to back themselves and say that, okay, I'm going to leave these deliveries. So I think that's where the credit needs to be given to both these batters to put up this kind of a total, this kind of a partnership. And absorbing pressure in that phase was phenomenal. I mean, end of the day, they did put bowlers under pressure and carried on with this partnership and the phase of the game which we're talking about, 31st to 33rd over. Until those overs happened, you thought that, okay, the game can go either way.
Well, it's been a very eventful day. Parthiv, when you look back at this match, you'd also want to talk about that Shreyas Iyer quick fire 100. Because if it wasn't, I mean, there are so many factors that contributed to India's win. But that Shreyas 100 perhaps helped India catapult itself to 397.
Yeah. It did make a difference. There is no doubt about it. I mean, that's a kind of role which has been given to him. And rightly, Virat Kohli rightly said that I'm the one who's going to stay at one, and everyone else going to come and express themselves. And that's exactly what Shreyas Iyer did. He's in a great form throughout this World Cup. Even today, I thought he took his time. Yeah, there were a few bouncers bowled at him initially, but he negotiated them really well. And as soon as spinners came in, and he cashed in, and that's how sticking to your own game plan is something which is very important, and that's what Shreyas Iyer has been doing. Yes, short ball, every time there's a short ball, he's just is finding a way to negotiate, and then whenever there's a spinners coming in, and he comes in and hits those big sixes.
A happy batting card that. Rohit Sharma kicking things off very well, going after their top bowlers. And then, of course, Shubman Gill among the runs as well. 80 retired, hurt. Virat Kohli, 50th, 100. KL Rahul came in. Shreyas Iyer really took it on upon himself to go big, hit a lot of big shots as well. Take a look at that. 105 of 70 in a World Cup semi-final. I suppose the most memorable knock of his career. KL Rahul, a quick fire 39 as well of 20. Now, you spoke of roles. Rohit Sharma once again. You guys spoke about what his role is. And it's very likely that a lot more of the same come the 19th of November.
Well, I think it's just about sticking to the processes, when you're talking about the big match. But when you're looking at that batting card, when you're looking back at this game, what happened today, I think there are so many positives, or there are so many big things which have happened around this game, that the small things which are very big or impactful, you tend to forget. And you look at Rohit Sharma's contribution at the top, the kind of tone which he set. You look at Shubman Gill's contribution, you look at KL's contribution today, taking those, not only just taking those catches,
Yes.
but also adding those 40 runs in just, or 39 runs in just 20 deliveries. So those are the kind of things which you miss. You look at the dive of Shubman Gill, which saved a boundary. All those small little things. This game, if it was 340 or 350 to chase, and the kind of start which they've had, or you go back in that scenario where 30 overs have been bowled or 31 overs have been bowled, this game is completely different. But you go ahead with the game and you tend to forget all these small little things. So I think everyone's effort today, the small little impactful effort from different individuals, need to be applauded, and I'm sure Rohit is very good with that. I think one quality which Rohit has is that understanding these small little things. And when you're talking about the finals, I think these things needs to be applauded before the finals. And if they're everyone, the kind of momentum which they've created, you want them to go through, because that belief is very strong and it is growing. 10 out of 10, what more do you want?
Yeah.
One more we want, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone wants that. But when you're seeing this 10 out of 10, you know that these guys are ready to take that final step.
What's the mood, the chat likely to be in the dressing room after this one? I remember watching this bite of Gary Kirsten. You can tell us more about that. After that Pakistan semi-final in Mohali, he said, guys, you can celebrate, but there's a game to win.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. So, you got to be excited. You got to appreciate what you've done so far. But you also got to stay in the present moment and understand and recognize that what's needed now to take that final step, which is sticking to your routine, the confidence which you've grown, the satisfaction which you have of reaching here. Everything stays the same till that last game and the last ball of that 100 overs, I would say. That's how you prepare. How many overs it's going to take, we'll see it on the 19th. But you got to be ready to play a good cricket, and good cricket over the full length of the game.
3 more days before the World Cup final. What's that zone likely to be in the next 3 days?
It just feels like that more than Indian team, you are looking more nervous today.
I'm always nervous, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're looking more nervous. And yeah, but I think
When you were saying that, we just somehow escaped and got the win and all
won
that.
by 70
You're
runs.
always in
when
control,
it's
Manish.
Happy.
Yeah, happy. Just
I kept looking at Zach during the game.
yeah.
It's our game.
Yeah,
Were you worried?
Yeah.
I was worried, sir, but you kept telling, okay.
You disappeared for a while.
I did because feeling nervous.
Yeah.
I went to the other lounge.
I thought you had gone to cancel the ticket. You thought that India might lose.
That's not happening. I'm going. Let's get back to the Indian team. But the next 3 days, it'll allow the Indian team to sort of look back, introspect, savor the happy moments, and draw a lot of confidence from this big win.
But that's what Indian team has done throughout this World Cup. Even if you look at statements from Rahul Dravid or Rohit Sharma that we are going to take one game at a time. Yes, there is a big final, but now there'll obviously a happy moment when you win a World Cup semi-final. You want to express your emotions. You worked really hard for this to reach at this level or this final. This is probably the most important game for a lot of players. But you have to, as everyone's saying, you have to trust the process. You have to, make sure that you go through everything, whatever you've done. Nothing changes. I remember, John Wright in 2003 final where he asked someone to, just touch the grass and say, just nothing has changed. The grass is same. It is still a World Cup final, but grass has not changed. So you got to make sure that yes, it is a World Cup final. You got to, absorb that pressure and enjoy the moment. Not, as you said, the World Cup's been played since 1975. This is only 4th time Indian team has reached World Cup finals. So you have to enjoy the moment. We all athlete or we all cricketers, prepare for this kind of moments, and I'm sure Indian team would be looking forward to this.
What did the captain Rohit Sharma say at the end of it all? Relieved captain, a happy team as well. Here's what he said. I've played a lot of cricket here. Any score on this ground, you cannot relax. We knew there'll be pressure on us. We were very calm, even though we were a bit sloppy on the field. It was important for us to stay calm. The crowd went silent, but we knew we needed a catch or a run out. Shami was brilliant. Rohit Sharma's body language is not talked about as much. He just seems to absorb the pressure in his own unique way.
He does. He's been expressive. It's not that he's not been expressive. You know that, if someone's dropped a catch or, there's a misfield, you can see that on the face. But, but what you get from Rohit Sharma is this. You get that honesty every time whenever, he gives a post-match interview or whatever he has to say, he will say in the team as well. And, he acknowledged that we were sloppy in the field. Crowd was silent. We were under pressure. And that's exactly what we all have been saying. But at the end of the day, how you're absorbing the pressure and how you're executing your plans under pressure, that matters in semi-final, and that's where captain comes into play, and then he's marshaled his troops really well, hence we are looking at our team in the World Cup final.
Yes, the troops are going to the Summit Clash, which will be played in Ahmedabad on the 19th of November. India beat New Zealand. Who shall they face in that big final on the 19th? It is South Africa versus Australia in that second semi-final, which will be played at the Eden Gardens in Kolkata. South Africa finished at number 2 on the points table at the end of the league stage. Australia at 3, both teams with the same number of points. South Africa ahead by virtue of a slightly better net run rate. But at this point, given current form, Zach, safe to say that Australia start hot favourites?
I would say South Africa. I think South Africa is someone who has been playing very good cricket. We've been saying that they are going to be the dark horses of this World Cup, and they've been able to put up a good show. Yes, the game against India was a big blow for them in terms of confidence that way. But Indian team have been beating any other team, so that is something which they can take confidence from. So when you're looking at the two teams right now going against each other, I would say South Africa have got a better chance because the middle order is looking very strong, and Edens will have to see what kind of combination they play. Whether Shami comes into play or not is something which we'll have to wait and see.
Ngidi bowled. He wouldn't be too happy with how he bowled in that last game. He couldn't finish his full quota. If he's fit, what would you do? If he isn't, what would you do?
I think I don't think it all depends on the conditions of the ground. When South Africa played against India, it was a bit of a turning wicket where Shami did come into playing 11. So if they are playing in a similar kind of pitch, you might just see an extra spinner in South Africa's squad. But no, I agree with Zach. Obviously, South Africa has been really consistent throughout their campaign. Yes, there have been few slutters in between where they had to chase the target, but they looked assured. They looked a good bowling attack. They've got an opener who's getting runs. They've got number 4 who's getting runs. So yeah, they are looking a very consistent side. So, but as far as playing 11 is concerned, it all depends on the kind of pitch has been offered to them.
Australia on a 7-match winning streak. In that last league game that they played, they had Mitchell Marsh scoring 177. Remember, Glenn Maxwell and Mitchell Starc did not play their game. So if we could pull up that Australia squad, maybe Zach can tell us how they could fit Maxwell back in. What do you do with that Labuschagne and Smith problem, Zach? Lots of questions to answer.
Yeah, I think that will be interesting if they actually make that call, because that's one thing everyone have been discussing about that. Steve Smith and Manish Labuschagne playing together is something which has not been of that much of a help for them. Maybe one of the guys, and Steve Smith is going to be the obvious choice there, according to me. And if they're able to do that, that will just give them that more options. More, a little bit of power. Maybe an all-rounder can come in. Stoinis is that guy. They can continue with. He can contribute with the ball as well. And Australia's campaign, if you look at it, it's been individuals stepping up at different stages, but they've been getting themselves in tough situations. Yep. So that is something which they'll have to rectify. How they're going to do it, we'll have to wait and see tomorrow. If they're able to crack it, this team obviously have got the experience of being in the knockout games and have done that damage to other teams. So that is the thing going for Australia from tomorrow's game.
Combination for you?
I think obviously Steve Smith starts, the experienced player who's done well for Australia over the years, and obviously you have to get in Mitchell Starc as well. I think Mitchell Starc will probably come in place of Sean Nevitt in this playing 11. But yeah, it's been the problem for them with whom to choose between Steve Smith and Manish Labuschagne. But here, when you're playing a semi-final game, big game, you want to go with an experience, someone who's captained the side, someone who's done well in knockout games. So yeah, I think Steve Smith should probably get nod ahead of Manish Labuschagne.
South Africa looking to enter their first ever World Cup final. Australia have done it multiple times. They've won well, pretty much all of their semi-finals so far. Just the one tied match in 99, 2007 as well. South Africa lost to Australia. So lots of history, and maybe this is South Africa's moment to change history in their favour. Players to watch out for this big second semi-final.
I think from South Africa, I'll say Quinton de Kock because they'll have to start well, and if they're able to do that, it's going to be a great day for South Africa, and that start is going to be very crucial. And for Australia, I think again you have to go for the start. So Warner is someone who you can look up to.
That's an advantage when someone starts first. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
No, I would.
He wanted to have taken both his options.
Both the option you have taken, but yeah, I would say the Kagiso Rabada for South Africa. He's been bowling really well. Maybe a couple of early wickets if he can get Warner out early on. Australia can come under pressure. And
You're not playing against me, huh?
no, I'm just saying. And probably Steve Smith. I'm just going with an experience because Zach has taken David Warner. I'm going with Steve Smith.
India would be happy to play either of them, right? The kind of confidence India is in at this point. Who would you rather face?
Well, I'll say one thing for sure, that they'll be watching the game tomorrow.
Yeah,
very close.
They'll keep an eye on the game. They'll see what's happening, who is cracking under pressure, how it's evolving. All those kind of things will be the chatter among the players. But yeah, you're right. The kind of cricket Indian team have been playing through and through. I don't think they're thinking about which team they will be playing. They shouldn't be. If at all that they're thinking about it, they should just throw those thoughts out of the window because they're playing phenomenal cricket. I think everything is falling into place. You look at the batters. There are 4 batters, I'm sure, in that list of run getters. The lowest is 350 plus. You look at the bowling, Shami has taken it to another level. And you have your spinners taking 16 wickets, which are the numbers. When you look back in history, it's the highest number of wickets taken by spinners. So everyone have been contributing. You've covered all your bases. So I think you should just focus on how you can replicate that in the finals.
What's Parthiv Patel's hunch? India versus?
I don't know. It's very difficult, but as Zach said, India shouldn't be worried about who's coming. But I'm seeing India versus South Africa in the final.
Ooh, now that's a new combo. India, South Africa in a World Cup final. Parthiv Patel has this habit of just mischievously leaving us with a few thoughts towards the end of the show. We're not done yet. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have the answer to the joy factor to be revealed. Here's the question. For all those who didn't pay attention, naughty children, Zaheer Khan took the first ever wicket to fall in a T20 franchise match at the Wankhede Stadium. Who was the batter? Mr. Khan, I think by now has figured the answer. So have you?
I've figured out the answer thanks to you.
Yeah.
But I still don't know how I got the wicket.
So I'll tell you how you got the wicket. The batter hit it on the offside cover point, and the fielder, a certain player who happens to have 50 ODI hundreds, dived to his left, took a flying catch, and that was Luke Ronchi. Caught Kohli, bowled Zaheer Khan. That is how it was. There are a lot of MI fans, a lot of Zaheer Khan fans, a lot of RCB fans and India fans who sent in answers, but only one guy will get this out finger from Zaheer Khan and a thumbs up for Ankit Chauhan. Well done. A thumbs up from Joy and a big finger goes up from Zaheer Khan.
That's for you.
That's for you.
What's that for me?
Yeah.
That's for me to wrap the show.
I'm glad you've done it yourself too.
By now I've figured.
Yeah.
But nothing for Ankit. Nothing for Ankit. Ho gaya.
It's
Well done, Ankit.
Well done, Ankit. You get a well done from the champion. We are done. India through to the big finals on the 19th. I'm done as well with the World Cup because Sami Khair, the wonderfully talented Sami Khair, will be on this very sofa tomorrow for the second semi-final and for the finals. And of course, the inimitable Gaurav Kapoor will be on Cricbuzz Live Hindi. So 1:30 p.m. tomorrow, South Africa versus Australia. Tonight though, good night, sweet dreams and sleep with a big smile on your face.